There's a Carl who's speaking up too. Ah, good. Joan brought Carl. Very good. Okay, so had you been thinking about Carl today?
I was with Carl's daughter earlier today.
That is why. Joan really is she's the one that opened the door, and I'll talk with her, but Carl is really wanting his daughter to know that he's with her. I mean, you please must tell her that he sends his love to her. He says, and I'll talk to Joan in a minute, I promise, but he is saying that, Carl's saying that she feels like she can't ever live up to her own expectations, she's just constantly pushing herself. And just tell her that her daddy is proud, that he is very, very, very proud of her. She's trying to put a lot of things, complete a lot of things right now. And he says just to tell her to trust she'll get everything done at just the right time. He wants me to mention keys to her too. I don't know if she's always losing her keys or always misplacing her keys, but just mention her keys to her, that he's teasing her about having an extra set of keys or keeping her keys around.
They maintain 2 homes, one in Kansas City and one in Minnesota.
No wonder.
And my daughter and son-in-law are going to stay at their apartment in Minnesota, so I have that set of keys.
That set of keys, yes.
That I'm handing off to her tomorrow.
Those are the keys. Yeah. And he says, that's cool. He says to tell her that he'll be with her at the apartment, and he'll be with her when she's in the car, and he's with her everywhere. Has she gotten a dog recently, or have they been talking about getting a dog?
The daughter?
Uh-huh.
Carl's daughter?
Uh-huh.
No, not recently. They lost a dog. The dog was sick many, many years ago.
No, that's the dog who's with him.
Oh, seriously?
Let her know that she is with Carl. Yes.
Anybody else with Carl?
Well, lots of others, but let's not get greedy. Hold on, I got to talk to Joan, and then we'll get back here. Because Joan's the one that opened the door here. Okay, I do think, though, that Carl may send another dog their way. Not yet, but, they may over the summertime have this inkling to get a dog, but he'll send the right one to them at the right time. He says, again, he just needs them to know that he's okay. Now, okay, let me talk to Joan, and then I'll just see if anybody else wants to chit-chat, too. Joan says that you don't always have to have a lot of time. It's not about the quantity of time, it's the quality of time. And she wants you to remember that with all your family, but also just her and her life too. She says she didn't need years and years and years and years and years and years and years to prove that one person can make a difference with just a smile. That's what she wants me to tell you. She says you don't know what a difference you make just by being who you are and by offering up a smile. Joan says sometimes you're chasing yourself around and pushing yourself because you think you have to do so much. And she says that's not true. It's just being who you are and being fully present and accepting who you are that does the greatest amount of good. And she says you have to hear that because lately you've been wrapped up inside yourself because you think you've got to do it all. And she says, but you don't. There's a November birthday or anniversary in the family that she's recognizing, so she's acknowledging that. And there's a Pat or a Paula, someone with a P name that's connected to the family too, or who's supportive of the family that she's recognizing or that she's mentioning. You have a son too, is that correct? She says that she loves seeing him, mostly loves seeing him give you a hard time. Because he does have a way of challenging you and stretching you sometimes. And she says that's good for you because he can show you what's important and he can help you kind of learn how to let go. She draws a star over him, and she says he's got such a star quality about him that people are just naturally drawn to him, and he just really brings out the best in everyone. And she says, but so do you. You just don't see yourself that way, but you do. She's telling me about your fingernails too. I don't know if you've been chewing on them lately or if you've been thinking you need to get them done. It would be...
I have, actually.
Yes. Yes.
I've been thinking that I should get it done.
Make it a date and just dedicate it to her. And just when you're there, at one point, close your eyes and feel her holding your hand and feel her with you, because she will be. There's like 2 properties or 2 homes. I don't know if you've been looking at a second home or if you've got a lake house and a home, like with there's two properties or living in 2 different places. And she says that would be a good thing for you. Like it's okay to have 2. I know we talked about 2 with you, but I think that's with you too. Do you have a lake home or where there's 2 different?
No, don't. We've talked about that over the years.
You will.
Yeah.
Yes, there will. And I think it'll be sooner rather than later. But she says it's what you've wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a way to make it happen. But see, here's what she sees about you. She says you always put off your dreams, or you always say, well, no, I better wait, or I don't know that it can happen. And she says that can happen, and it will. Let it be. Someone plays the piano in the family too. She's talking about taking piano lessons and piano being a significant thing. Over the past 3 or 4 years, specifically 4 years, and then she's gone back about 12 years. So do different things. The past 3 and 4 years, she says there's been a lot of changes in the family, but all the changes work out for good. So she's recognizing that. And then again, 12 years ago, 12 or 13, she says there were a lot of changes going on during that time too. But her spirit is always strong, and she's always there to see these things through. There's I know I mentioned an A name before, but there's an Amy or Abby connected to your family that she's recognizing, or who's friends with you. Or, do you have an Angela or Allison?
Angie.
Angie, connect with Angie. Joan says she's a good connection for you right now. There's these little stepping stones, and she shows me a heart stone. I don't know if you'd bought a stone that looks like a heart, or if you have a little heart-shaped stone out on your desk. And then there's stepping stones too, 2 different things. But there's been like a paved way or a walkway with stepping stones, and part of that's in her honor. But then she shows me a heart-shaped stone too, and hearts are her sign to you. So if you see clouds that are shaped like hearts or hearts anywhere, that's her sign or her symbol to you, because her love is with you all the time. She says send blessings to your parents. And she shows me putting up hanging plants too. I don't know if you put up hanging plants not too long ago.
I'm getting ready to today.
Today, she was with you. Yep, she was with you. She says all the beauty, celebrate all the beauty, but know that you are a beauty. She says you're more beautiful than a lily and more lovely than a rose. You don't see that, but that's how she sees you. And she says she wants you to bloom. It's time for you to bloom. Oh, that's a neat message. It is time. It is time. Now there's another M name, like a Margaret or a Marion, who's on the other side, and she could be your family too. Did you have a Margaret or yeah, Margaret? She says to tell you hello too. And there's like a Bessie. Or Babe, someone who's got a B name who's with her too. Beulah, that's her. That's why I was hearing Bessie. They're both there. And did you have an Aunt Bessie? Did you have a Bessie?
I have an Aunt Bessie, my mom's sister.
Well, yeah, that's her. That's Bessie and Beulah. But Bessie's the one I was hearing. Bessie. She says to tell you hello. She says, ask and it is given. You asked who else was there. She's given. She's here. She wants you to do genealogy. I don't know if you've been getting at some genealogy or looking at some of the family history, but it might be neat to learn a little bit more of that. She says you come from good stuff, so it wouldn't hurt to learn a thing or two about it. And there's a chicken connection too. I don't know if she was raised on a farm or if...
My grandma used to kill chickens to eat.
They're all there waiting for her in heaven. They're all there, every last chicken. What?
Grandma's there.
Yeah, she's there with all a bushel and a peck and a choke on the neck. No, she's there with all the cheer. Yeah, your grandma's there. She says hello. She's got a cross, and she says she's met Jesus, and she's met Mary, and that's just been really fun, just to be there with all the family. And she says, "Oh, it is heaven. It is heaven." And there's a Frank or Fred who's there with her. Yeah, Frank's.
Her son-in-law.
Yeah, they're there together. I mean, it's just this whole big brouhaha, and I'm not going to talk to all of them because now they're all woof. There's a William too, or Will, who's connected with the family, who's also there. But Frank is telling me about like reading in the newspaper more or keeping abreast of current issues. I don't know if you'd stopped reading the news or watching the news, but he says he at least wants you to know what's going on in the world so you can make good conversation with people. He's a good guy. Your grandma also, now I see with her too, a lot of like petunias and pansies and planting a lot of flowers. And she says it would be good to get outside, just to get outside and to commune with her spirit. She really loves you. There's somebody else in the family who's still here, who is either named after her, or there's some kind of a continuation with her name, or there's an Elizabeth, there's a younger person that's connected to her in that way. Yeah, recognize your niece, or tell her a few things about your grandma, because she's honoring her. Somebody's been out to like Virginia or the Carolinas not too long ago too. I think unless that in your family had someone gone out to the east, like Tennessee, Kentucky, in that general area.
My sister's family.
Is there? Yeah. She says say hello to them too. Joan does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! Now you guys are all making me trying to keep Frank and Bessie and Beulah and all of them straight. The bottom line is, Carl sends his love to his daughter. Your family is very proud of you, and your grandma does want you to learn more and maybe write a couple of stories and a couple memories about the family. Because it's important. She says it's the things, those everyday things sometimes you lose track of, but that have so much good, so much love in them. And then just to know that both of you are very loved, and there's just so much goodness that's there. So pass Joan's love to everyone, and the same for Carl too. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. There you go.